Coming up in today's cast.
Deniska! I don't want to say it's a blunder, but definitely nothing that helped him there. The villagers, what? No. No, don't all build for one farm. Is this a bait and switch? Like, is this mind games right now? Oh, yes, one and all. Last time we were on this map, we witnessed one of the finest players that Age of Empires 4 has to offer get slayed by Deniska and his Byzantines. Or back again. This time, in the quarterfinals, with sort of on the other side. He's sort of a big deal, a decent player. Guys, you might remember him from Red Bull World Legacy, a top 16 player back then, returning to Age of Empires 4 and blessing our midweek musters with his presence here. China to open up with him in the red. It's going to be on regions. This is a map where you have got a lot of gold focused around the center. And then, well, as the name suggests, resources get cut into regions. So you have all the deer on one side, all the berries on the other. You don't really start with too much outside that near your base. Then again, this boar spawn is a little bit outrageous. I don't know like who sort of kissed to get this, but boar, berries, and gold, if he sees that, that's a very easy extension. For now, though, he does just rotate on the east side, gets as many sheep as possible. Deniska does a little bit of a different rotation, does get scoured, which means now, knowing this info, sort of can just pivot the other way and try to check areas like the center of the map. So, expectations with this matchup. Likely we're thinking pro scouts here from China. It's a pretty organic go-to play. For Byzantines, they're usually looking at just rushing up the systems. We've seen Deniska do this before against Dumu in his round of 16 game, where he'd eventually extend out onto the berry mass. Now, that game was very different. House of Lancaster is a lot more passive than China is, because although China might be greedy at first, they accelerate into aggression fast. I wonder, though, is there a world in which sort of goes fully aggressive in this matchup? I mean, he has a good spawn for a deer shove. It's already been slightly lamed, though. He's keeping 2 on the gold with Imperial Academy on the way. I think we're likely looking at pro scouts. Now, one thing you can do to try and deny this as Byzantines is you can play into racks and Limitane spam. The idea being that your opponent is going to be running across to this deer location, right? So if you open Limitane, you can shove your deer into the base and then guard all the remaining value on the map. It's going to be Grand Winery coming in from Deniska as expected. How does the spawn look for him overall? Berries leaning left, then into right is a little bit annoying for the spread. Normally what you're looking for here is just Sistan on the way to the berries. So like, you know, you'd want to have Sistan here, another Sistan here, and then berries all in the corner. But the spawn did not favor him for that. Oh, I think we're like 20 seconds out from live. Let's go 2x speed. Okay, so final sheep haul is going to be pretty even. Slight edge there for sort of. And with 4 on gold, yeah, there's no denying it. This is pro scouts. Deer shove never happened, unfortunately, from Deniska, which feels like a little bit of a waste. I wonder, does he open with the horseman like last time? I think it's a bit different here compared to his House of Lancaster matchup because China's probably just willing to open spears if need be in a rush. They can open horsemen and then pivot very well. That's the power of China, right? Is they are one of the best civs at transitioning due to the supervision and the build speeds. Yeah, there's really nothing weak about transitional play for China. They build the structures quicker than other civs. They produce quicker than other civs with the supervision from the taxmen. And then obviously they have additional resources to work with because of the supervision on the lumber camps and the mills to put to work. It's the dream. I guess like if you're low rank, it might be your nightmare because it's a bit more micro. But if you get used to doing that little bit of micro, it's all upside. All right, let's see how you guys predicted. 72% for sort of. Did you guys not just watch this guy take out Dumu 2-0? I mean, this is a matchup that I think has been pivoting back towards Chinese favorability in recent times. Before the Pro Scouts meta, I feel like Byzantines had a really good time just kind of rushing into you with mercenaries and then catching you in the middle of your tech. But now, you know, with the much more secure food income long term, China isn't as pressured as they once were. They've also diversified away from like the Nesta B spear comp, which is good considering how much got nerfed. One thing that did get nerfed, of course, was Pro Scouts. Maybe just not enough. Horseman now on the way. It looks like Deniska is trying a similar thing to what we saw last time. He's already extending out to the extra berry mass. So level 4 assistant already online. Yeah, very aggressive longbow timing just behind us from this. He's already up to 400 olive oil. So the thing about this timing is your first mercenaries are weaker than they used to be, for sure. But your second mercenaries actually come in a little bit quicker, while also along the way you have secured maximum efficiency on your economy with assistance. Now, one other annoying thing here actually for Deniska, and it's why he's reacting with racks, is on this map, because the other deer are so far away, you have to play very predictably for your safe deer. Or you just miss the window on efficiency. Right? Because your goal here is to have enough deer home so that when you make this long excursion, you don't run out of resources. A bit of horseman poke coming in, but the spearman arrives, so Deniska has got longbows on the way. Now remember, those longbows can intercept the west side deer, where practically all the scouts have gone. Good read. I love that by sort of. He's a smart player. He gets it. You know, there's a lot of players at the highest level that just neglect scouting. It's really important, even once you're pro scouting, because it informs what you can or can't get away with. So by camping here with the scout, he'll see the longbow timing, and he'll know which direction they're going in, so he has the best chance of dodging them out. Sort of. Oh, okay, so he does get info over here that is going to be secure on the secondary berry. Looks like this timing a little bit weird, though. The longbows are going to start creeping out, so we'll see him slightly late. And they are on a collision course for those pro scouts. Meanwhile, dive in on the Barbican. Deniska just trying to keep sort of honest. It won't be enough time bought for the longbows to arrive. Scouts are about to see the enemy pro scout play. Now, the spearmen can't really hang out here for long. If the longbows just keep going north, they should be able to intercept. Instead, they're kind of steering. Yeah, he's going to have to drop them. You can maybe try to get one home, but it's going to feel weird. So good read by sort of. He at least doesn't lose any of the boys. And look at what Deniska's doing. Exact same way he played against Spenny Boy, right? Just going for that age up behind this. This is, I think, Byzantine's most reliable build still. Just play a faceted aggression, right? A fake aggression, and then play for attack behind. And sort of is going to start mirroring now. He can still go back for the east side deer. One deer stat should be enough to see him through to the next stage. And that's going to be important for like the initial lance timing. Instead, though, sort of does not want to wait. Yeah, look at this sun pumping the horseman. We talked about the transitional timings, and this is proof of it, man. That was crazy fast. Longbows will try to sacrifice themselves to kill the spears, but that's an ugly trade for Deniska. Second group of longbows isn't here, and this is the exact same way he did play against Dumu. Instead of adding in more horsemen to prep himself for a counterplay, he stopped at 2. There's no way he can hold on here. Whole army is going to get wiped. He'll at least have a tech coming, but sort of now with map control. So you could say he's sort of in a good position. Yeah, that would be a fair statement right now. Deniska has problems coming. He's on the secondary batch already. His sheep count is at least okay at 9. He's teching up, but he's playing cataphracts. And long-term food is going to be a little bit weird for him. Especially now with the dives that sort of's up to. No fortifications coming in, and instead Deniska just tries to run the villagers away. So Horseman will get more ability to poke here. In fact, yeah, he tries to get the pin. Not going to be able to. So Deniska does keep all the villagers alive. Good idle time achieved there, and behind this sort of tech timing, not that much worse off than Deniska's. Why did the Jiggly System Age free rush drop off? It's a timing attack. I think you need an overwhelming advantage to make sense of it. It's also really, I feel like, kind of meanful against China in particular, because China has all this hand cannon slits and static defenses that just stockpile up. Also, they can react very aggressively and fast with spearman spam. But yeah, the thing is, like, you know, when you see a system rush, just don't panic. Play a bit more defensive. Open spears and just get to crossbows as quickly as possible, and then you're safe. You have to think of so you have to think of like the System Rush with Cataphracts, similar to how you think of like elephants. And it sounds weird because they're very different speeds, but it'll make sense in a second. Your counterplay is that if you start getting crossbows online, they can't get away. You kill secure. That's what you're looking for, is the kill secure point. But a lot of the time, people kind of panic and rush out to try and contest Cataphracts when they are trickling troops. And that's where Sippy Cups works best. And yep, Marine Lord did just win another S tier tournament. Spoilers! Okay, you guys should have probably watched it by now. Yeah, M-Lord back on top. Probably will go completely Resident Sleeper unseen for another month or two. And then come back to try and defend his title. Stays away from our midweek musters. Scared of the volatility of B and Louis. I think that's how that works. So Deniska, what's the game plan now? He's intercepting the Pro Scouts, but that's very weird positioning for Lombos now. If he camps here, then he'll get killed off by Lancers. And good read, sort of. Knew exactly where the Monk was going to go. So one relic home, but no second for Deniska. Sort of himself is now going after relics with 3 of them nicely congested on the left side. So a lot of justification leaning your force over here. A force that should be stronger than Deniska's. Exactly, man. Like, everyone knows the real champions come and play the KPMMs and show all their strategies to all the other tournaments. Right? Like, guys, you see how Louis MT almost beat Marine Lord, and yet he was, like, here every single week? I think, actually, this is, like, the first week where he didn't sign up in a long time. Okay, is that not the most Chad move? You sign up for the KPMMs, you play them while you've also then got this S tier tournament to play, and then the week after you finish the S tier tournament, you're like, I'll take a break now. Bit of a clash here. Good micro from sort of. Sends the Lancers straight to the back. Cataphracts try to get back in position to body block in the choke point. Deniska, I mean, he should fare all right here. He's got a lot of Lombos over in this area. And sort of, I mean, he didn't even upgrade the Spearman. Yes, that may have been premature out of sort of. Is he out of food? Is that why? Yeah, he's running low. I mean, he's moving across into berries now. I think he's got like 2.5 deer stacks left, which is not a lot at this point. It's China. It's a great fight for Deniska. Keeps momentum, and I love this. Teardrop shields now on the way to give that extra +1 armor. Makes you a little bit more chunky, a little bit harder to slay. And now this might be the breathing room Deniska needs to take risks onto the berries. He's already setting up groves, though. This matchup's a little bit different than last time he was on this map, because this time he's up against a cavalry civ. So if you play for the eastern berries, you're going to get shut down. Instead, it's much better just to play it slower into olive groves. He's even blocking out relics now. Wait, what? That is an ambitious monk. I think Deniska may have went a little overkill in his positioning here, just camping the safest relic for sort of. It's almost like, yeah, we wait here and kill a single monk, and it will be worth it. Oh, well, will it? Oh, sort of, now in the berries. Cataphract's going to find them, and a clash is now happening, so you might not notice straight away. Deniska hasn't noticed either, though. I don't want to say it's a blunder, but definitely nothing that helped him there. Oh, my God. At that stage, the Cataphracts wouldn't be able to hold on long, but he pretty much just said, nope, and left them to their own sacrifice, like lambs to the slaughter here. Lombo count has been completely removed. Sort of now has Knight lead, a notable lead at that. And full map control again. Deniska, if these Cataphracts actually paid attention, yeah, not 1, but 2 ran past that. That's crazy. And finally, one of them does react. So that's going to force huge migrations of villagers back towards the base with Chinese here. You know, it wouldn't have won Deniska the fight to have been attacking these villages earlier, but it would have made the aftermath look less grim. Oh my God. Okay, I say that. This is looking kind of grim still. Like, oh, guys, what are we doing? All right, he will get the cleanup. That was that 4 worker kills? I mean, not bad for a guy who's just a walking dead man. Now remember, we also do have Song Dynasty from Chinese, so although there's a system lead, a lot of it's starting to get offset between Supervision and the Barbican effect. Yeah, things are looking shaky for Deniska. Relapping map control, he's taking risks. He's going triple outposts. You heard me correctly there. Right now, he has 23 villages on the east side here. And another 2 go down. Okay, sort of is camping. So, like, in some ways, this is good for Deniska because his opponent isn't actually counter-raiding. But if you keep trickling cataphracts like this, it's over time going to build a big enough Lancer lead that sort of goes hunting, right? Remember, cataphracts are not cheap, by the way. 330 resources. Yeah, you feel it in your bank account. So what does Deniska do now? Because he's still building the same thing, expecting something to change. You don't really want Landsnake instead of Lombos. You're kind of stuck with them, right? Because if you go Lombos, yeah, you still die to Lancers, but at least you can kind of tickle away without being threatened. If you go Landsknechter, you get like 1 cleave in and die. So his Lombo comp still definitely makes a lot of sense here. It's just awkward for him, right? Because like you need your opponent to build things like Spears, Palace Guard, etc. to make your mercenary choice feel good. And that's the thing about this matchup that changed so drastically, guys. Remember I said in the older patches, China had a hard time against Byzantines. That was back when China didn't have pro scouts because the meta wasn't there. It wasn't good enough. And they would usually go Spearman Nesta Bees. Spearman Nesta Bees could die easily to Lombo Landsknechter. But ever since we saw this switch into heavy cav, China has looked more and more dominant in this matchup. And that domination is coming. Horsemen just sheepdog herding towards the Lancers. The villagers are going to hide near the towers, but that's not going to protect them for long here. I mean, he's got the cataphracts on the way, but that's just not a quick enough answer. So Deniska going to be even further behind now. Oy, oy, oy. And to make matters worse, remember, the upside we were meant to be praising Deniska for is that Byzantines compete because of systems. Well, that's a problem then, because he's got 17 villages out here. Almost a third of his economy that has 0 system buff. Deniska, at least at home, he has got more olive groves coming in for that permanence, but I think sort of, yeah, he's already mirroring. Granary farms being dropped, so he's not going to run out of food either. Nice little chop down there. Does get a few of the cavalry units. Deniska does have military lead. He just needs to impress with it now. That was the whole risk of this berry play. It's an ambitious berry play, folks. Sometimes you just got to take the big risk. This guy... His aqueducts are insane, I swear. A counteroffensive underway. The good news actually for Deniska is that sort of building crossbows into Lombos. That's not great. Also, this Lancer count doesn't look that impressive. No. The cataphracts can hold on. Sort of overly ambitious in Deniska. After looking like he might be dead, gets the second wind here. He knows he needs some damage as well. Now, this is kind of expected. The reason why sort of is so weak right now is because of the farm transition. And Deniska is a wild man. So confident of his position, his reaction is to go 2 TC. I mean, of course, why not? We've got plenty of food. And plenty of it slowly coming in that everyone will be able to use. 5 villagers lost there for sort of as well. Farm transition almost complete. We're now at, what, 22 farms going up to about 30. Really, I think for sort of the problem here is he just wants to raid more. He's going to go shuffling out, looking for targets. Outpost will give an early warning. Deniska, do you hide north? He hasn't reacted yet. He's going to be diving in, finds the taxman. Sort of. He's angling for it. He splits into 2 groups to make sure he can get the surround. And Deniska A little bit late on the reaction there. He was too busy diving himself. Does find a few villages on the tree line to make it worth his while. Some will make it back to the outpost. Meanwhile, the back of the base is a problem for sort of. He does not have the numbers to defend yet. And the granaries have been discovered. Now under pressure, a keep drop does come in. That should be enough to slow Deniska down here. We'll have to back up. Lombo's also being sacrificed. No, he clicked on the farm. Oh, God, that was not intentional. He at least realized quickly there and started moving them again. Yeah, you see, he just keeps trying to move through this area and he keeps hitting farms. Start stepping away now. Only 11 left alive. However, the villagers, what? No. No, don't all build for one farm. But it's more efficient if we work together. Apes strong together. No. Please, for the love of God. Sort of now diving underneath the primary TC. It's his turn to claim some souls here. But Deniska's still not done. The cataphracts are about to be wiped out. They've kept the economy in check. Reinforcements are now intercepting the Lancer raid from Sorov. Both of them are in pure chaos mode here in game number 1. I tell you, this is the way I like to see it, by the way. About, a year and a half ago, we saw so many rookie mistakes where people would go back to defend when they saw a dive coming in. That's bad. If you're already in position, go and counteract dive. Do damage to your opponent and have your reinforcements clean up their attack. So great read by Sorov to not overreact and come home there. Because otherwise, he would have found himself 10 plus eco down against 2 TC. Instead, he at least keeps things somewhat balanced here. His granaries are now free to work. And he needs to produce fast. This game is crazy. It's crazy how Deniska survived this. Now, he does have some problems after that pushback. He's no longer at the berry gathering, so the Lombo pump is slow. Also, this Lombo strategy he employed is very much a scaler. It was already bad enough when he got wiped once. Getting wiped twice is usually incredibly detrimental in the mid-game because you're not really at a point where you can just vomit out a million Lombos yet. He only got 2 relics. His Olive Grove count is not crazy. He's only sitting at 18. So the Remax is going to be slow here. And the keep drop down the center. This is a big deal, guys. I want to say statistically 85% of Regions games are decided by this castle drop. The gold makes the world go round. It means that sort of only has 3.5k gold to work with plus taxation. Lancers, though, he sensed it. Great timing. And remember, Deniska only has Lombos, no crossbows. So Lancers will force a lot of out of time. He cancels the castle. Are you kidding me? Sort of barely had any Lancers left. And with a small group remaining, he found maximum value in pain. Dives into the economy, finds a few worker kills. Denies the gold claim. And remember, behind this, his farm transition is almost complete. He's at 41 farms. That's crazy. And now look at the reaction straight away. Sort of just not skipping an opportunity. Stones being gathered. He's about to educate Deniska how to build a castle. Not just that. Apparently build a second TC. Wait, what? He's got enough for castle plus TC. And Deniska's going to come back this time with one a bit more defensive. In fairness, this was insanely aggressive, right? The idea with this one was to block all gold that your opponent could touch. So instead, he secures his side of the free veins. Man, this is a big series as well, by the way. Reminder that this would be the best run either of these players would have had in the Midweek Musters. Definitely not going to be an easy week because B is on their side of the bracket. I also wouldn't underrate Myriad, who's been rising through the rankings. Okay, so Lombo count back up to 17. I think Deniska wants to play this slow now. It's not... I don't think playing Imperial is that bad against China for you. You have some advantages. Lombos are decent. The Olive Oil valuable for scaling that, and then obviously the system impact. Negatives are going to be things that rely on gold, right? Like long-term Varangian and Cataphracts might not be on the menu. And remember, there are no trade outposts on regions. So there's no crafty, let me just switch into mass trade and get olive oil play down the line. Once the gold is gone, you're out. Ooh, that's actually really good info for sort of. He finds the Rax transition in its infancy. And when I say the infancy, I truly mean it. This is Dark Age Limitane right now. So he gets the info as early as possible, and look at Sort's reaction. Queues up Chugnu. Counter attack now from Niska. Sort of, but they really, really, really want to repair that mining camp. Oh dear. Now, Chugnu is a little bit funky to Lombos. It's similar to the crossbow weakness. Like, if your opponent starts stepping, you shouldn't ever be able to reach him. That's why the horsemen are key here. Will be forced to retreat towards the castle. Doesn't really have enough troops to contest. The more and more it stabilizes, the better and better it's looking sort of right now. Remember, it's 2TC Song, so he beats 2TC Byzantines quite easily. Horseman just proven to be a nuisance, just sneaking these tree lines. Gets all the worker kills before being sent to Valhalla. Now the keep drop is going to be there. Sort of a lot more defensive of his placement. He's trying to do it out of range of vision. He doesn't want to risk it being intercepted right now, as it's only a force of 8 building it. I wondered, does sort of just bypass the age now? He's got 3,000 gold. Then taxation as well, plus 3 relics. He could definitely afford to just go Imperial. And the idea here would be you keep drop into Great Wall Gatehouse here, and the Great Wall Gatehouse can then reach the castle. Great Wall Gatehouse has great damage. Insane damage, actually, into other buildings. Not quite Red Palace levels, but good enough. Deniska also thinking about Imperial Age here. He's nowhere near pop. He's actually outnumbered, but he's choosing an age up. It would seem anyway. I mean, maybe it's just a miss macro, but he's floating 2k food. He's trying to reallocate it. It's just not working quick enough. Which is crazy, actually. I think with Byzantines, it's quite easy to be optimally macroed in terms of you shouldn't be holding big reserves of food. Because of how fast the production is. He produces out of these stables every 11 seconds into Horsemen. So that means each stable is capable of expending over 500 food a minute. And you can see he's got triple stable. He could use his entire income. I think slowing down momentarily, but sort of looking to accelerate them again. He is going to be seen building this Great Wall Gatehouse. He actually stopped building the wall just before it would have been scouted. That's big. Still, with 3 Nester Bees, it's hard to see a way in which Deniska can dive him to stop this. And the problem is Deniska reinvesting in this age didn't really benefit him if you think about it. Sort of hasn't fallen behind militarily. Love the fact that he went for just a few Springles as well. Understanding the Limitane could be a problem. He's still waiting. And there, wait. Wait, what? All right, he chickens out. I am disappointed. No Great Wall Gatehouse on the front line. Is this a bait and switch? Make it look like you're building it here? He will think that it's coming and dive me here instead of my base. Like, is this mind games right now? Because it's not working. Deniska's just going around. He's like, okay, sure, you do that. Because if you build the Great Wall Gatehouse there, I'm going to kill your entire base. Nah. The mind games only work if you turn on your brain. I don't know if Deniska processed it. He saw a creeping wall and then just didn't maybe react at all. Sorv's just playing 4D chess while Deniska's like, bro, we're playing checkers here. Keep it simple. Be a wrap round to the back now. And a rut row moment for Sortov. Deniska with the military numbers. Sort of needs to wait for the elite techs to come in. No supervision on those upgrades either. The crossbow upgrade is going to be slow. Horseman just cutting reinforcements and cutting down some workers as well. Still plenty of gold to work with. Second TC is going to get torched. Definitely sort of cares though. It's kind of at a point where you actually just want more military. And now the cataphracts and the dive-in! Premium anti-siege. He gets on top of the Nesta Bees. Much needed as well as the massacre begins. Repair crew's going to be there. Nesta Bees being kept alive. Freeze still standing, and that means the Lombos are in trouble. He needs to snipe out, but I don't think he's got the power here, surely. Horseman's starting to ripple in a little bit. The villagers are coming into repair. It's a hard hold, but it looks like one that he should be able to make work. Not many melee units left alive. The Lombos are now falling like flies. And despite the numerical advantage, Deniska will break. What a fight by Sword-Off. What an insane one at that. The villagers coming clutch there, and Deniska maybe a little bit too fixated with those cataphracts. Instead of diving them to different locations, they all charged onto one area. He got the initial Nesta Bees kills, but was completely out of position for the follow-ups. Body's just in the way the entire time. And after getting bodied, Deniska only has one play left. He has to play for the Age as well, so he did stop producing. Imperial Age is just around the corner for the Byzantines as well. They do still have more gold access than China. Guaranteed with double castle. Sort of should be capable of a healthy technological lead here. An immediate switch into hand cannoneers now on the way. I mean, I can't control when Twitch runs their ads when I'm busy doing casting, production, camera work, etc. So all I've got to say to, like, if ads play in a fight, subscribe. Even more so when you're literally a person with a Prime sub next to your name. I don't even need to say it. Look, the Twitch chat knows. They got it. Thank you, thank you. This is crazy for game one, though. I think some people just... I don't want to say they rate off Deniska, but I saw people saying, oh, yeah, Duma's not feeling well, or whatever it is. Even if he's not, Deniska played fantastically well against Ben. And now in this game... I'm not going to say he's giving sort of a run for his money for sure, but you definitely get that feeling, that air of it not being over yet. Astronomical Clock Town now coming in, so sort of is going to start getting the more chunky siege. We saw what happened when he actually had normal Nesta Bees. Imagine when they have 50% more HP. Bombards are already wheeling up. Foreign Engineering Company means that Deniska can have an answer into Royal Cannons, but now with the Astronomical Clock Tower effect, it's going to be a lot more difficult. Fire off, Kings. Okay, that was actually really underwhelming damage. Can you try again? And I was like, is he looking for a neutral post to build elephants? No, Deniska was just... There's something that feels so much better about waiting until you can queue up 3 Royal Cannons at once. Oh, the feeling. And also the production rate. Remember, he's got Conscriptio. So pumps them out every 23 seconds. Passguard switch upcoming, sort of. I'm not sure how I feel about that detail, though. He's queued up Fire Lancers. I guess it could be an answer to the cannons, right? It's a weird unit, though. I don't remember the last time I watched someone convince me that Fire Lancers was a good idea. You know, building Fire Lancers is when you convince a teenager to play chicken on the train tracks. It feels epic and, you know, adrenaline-inducing for about 10 seconds, and then you hear a train coming and realize you may have made a mistake. And good eyeballs, he is using Presidium. Yeah, the damage is insanely low here. 25% damage reduction. This one Bombard is taking a century to take this out. Royal Cannons are going to square up. That's cool. I very rarely see people utilize Presidium. It's just kind of overlooked. But with the new systems being so much cheaper, it's much easier to justify dropping a system just to get a 25% damage reduc on your buildings. Pretty damn powerful. Like Elsbach, but better? Well, Elsbach is better, right? Elsbach is 33%, but it's close to. And you obviously have more flexibility on how you can extend it compared to Elsbach. Sort of. His position looks a little bit shaky now that there's 4 Royal Cannons, actually. Remember, these are the anti-siege. Sort of doesn't really have his yet. 10 fire lances feels a bit dubious. The Clash is now coming in. Royal Cannons are going to start sniping out the nest of bees. Knobs that aren't even taking out squishy targets. No, they're going after the melee mosh pit. And he's getting absolutely swarmed. Oh my god, this is horrible. Limitane into hand cannoneers just means hand cannoneers. A lot of damage being mitigated per strike. Sort of now into front line with said hand cannoneers. All siege is being splintered. The pushback is real here. Deniska has siege advantage against China, something that is not easily achieved for the majority of civs in Age of Empires 4. It's like we have got interception on reinforcements, the horseman wrapped around the back. But kind of crazy that despite the fact he's got Yuan, the mobility just doesn't seem to be leveraged at all for sort of. No, the horseman count needs to be a lot higher. Instead, we've got additional fire lancers now on the way. And that play has now been revealed running into the base. Don't worry, guys. He got that farm. Oh, sorry. Yeah, the farm. He got it real good. He shoot that grove who the daddy is. And Deniska in shock. What will he ever do? Look at this one villager. No purpose in life. Like, this villager is so disoriented from the loss of the olive grove that they've literally become an aqueduct column. They don't know what else to do. Flash in the center, though. Sortov's rallied his second army. It doesn't look like they're going to be able to break in, though. Yeah, because Sortov is missing a key tech here. Can you spot it? He can't play horseman to horseman because he doesn't have biology. In fact, he doesn't have any army tactics. In fact, he doesn't have anything of value from a university. Does he even have... Yeah, so he took... This is the weird thing. He took siege works. But, like, none of the other key techs. He took the serpentine powder, but he didn't take elite army tactics, biology, and these are the things that are costing him the fight right now because Deniska just has more raw HP to punt at this. He has elite army tactics and Limitane. He's got the horseman biology. You're losing this game because of your health balls. Cannons go dive in deeper. They were trying to get that siege kill, not able to in the end. I think Deniska, like, primary concern here is just snipe the hand cannoneers. Your opponent's officially running out of gold. Have to square away, just backing up a little bit. Doesn't want to overextend. But the gold count is not looking good, folks. 2,000 gold remaining, and then sort of is taxation only. Without representation in the center. And Deniska, remember, he doesn't really need gold. Food, wood is all he needs with this comp. And olive oil. But the olive oil is a ton. Then again, he did lose that one farm back here. And that won't be able to afford cannons. Right? Like, definitely doesn't have 2,000 surplus olive oil in reserve. Oh my god. Well, we do finally have elite army tactics on the way for sort of. Okay, this is better. This is really what was missing to bring it together. Because now, like, your opponent doesn't really have much backline firepower against Palsguard. Horseman also getting added in. But another thing is, like, remember, he kind of prioritized Fire Lancers, never upgraded into Elite Horsemen. So yeah, it's, like, even worse than you thought. In theory, like, Fire Lancers can work with PG against Limitane, but it's weird. The interact point is, like, sometimes you do just get braced and you do nothing. And no, Regions does not have a trade post. So when you're out, you're out. Alright, these guys, similar to the Olive Grove dude, they are so confused by the deer and the tree lines that they become a palisade post. Guys, please. Guys, please. Please. The Palsguard are coming. Alright, he's got cataphracts on the way in the cannon. Stupid, useless villages. Ooh, nice hit with the horseman. No Exploratores is a little bit weird, actually. Deniska would benefit a lot from it because gold will eventually run out. And then the extra sliver you're going to get off of those worker kills, which will be easy to achieve with that tech, is going to pay off over time. Okay, so minimal casualties on the flank here in the end. We do have elite cataphract pump from Deniska. This is not long-term affordable, folks. He's down to just 3,000 gold. Needs a big hit, a winning hit. Formation shuffle is going to get weird. Luckily, sort of realizes it. The cannons are still a big question mark. A question to which sort of hasn't really provided an answer yet. Still isn't. He's got 7 horsemen, no upgrade into elite. He's going mass spearmen now. A little bit weird into Limitane because Limitane are just better spears. Actually, going to be coming in now. Those cannons are overkilling. So Deniska, really, this is where the extra micro gets added in. You want to be target firing down each of these hand cannoneers. Not doing it, though, so has to retreat away. And we'll get caught in the retreat as well. Remember, these are Yuan Dynasty spearmen. More cannons are coming in, but it looks like one of them is going to be lost here. So Village is not able to save the day. The walls are coming. Not this one. This is an aqueduct. Well, cannons have now arrived. Landstick in as well. Good for clearing that spearman line. A nice trample to the back. Muddies the formation. The hand cannoneers got stuck on top of them. And the cannon's now surging forward. Now, this is bad right now for Sword Off. He doesn't have much meat left in the pack, which means hand cannoneers are going to start getting sacrificed. In fact, they already are. Lombos, cannons, target him down. Sort of also losing in the bombard department. Has to pack up and run. And any hand cannoneer losses now are painful. It extinguishes your ability to keep remaxing when you don't have any gold veins. Yeah, at this point, it's taxation and relics is the only thing. Would love to see Deniska decap this sacred site because it's giving a little passive income of gold, 100 gold. That would also benefit Deniska because he's going into Catasteel. We're up to 5 cannons. Death to the taxes. It's like the only thing keeping you alive are those men in their purses. Nothing about what's going on. This is pretty entertaining. Welcome to Age of Empires 4. I've said this before. The only downside about AoE 4 sometimes is the early game as a spectator sport. If they ever fix that, chef's kiss, man. And I think new maps have started to fix that. We've seen Dark Age become more and more viable. I do think we'll eventually end up in a situation where, like, Villager Start will upgrade to, say, 9 Villager Start. I think it's an inherent pacing thing that happens with RTSs over time. But like most RTSs have had this. I think the ones that are most popular spectator sport-wise haven't had it to the same extreme like StarCraft. Yeah, glad the new maps are mixing things up a bit. This one a bit more of a classic. Maybe not the classic outcome. The one that people would expect. Deniska now with a full siege advantage. 5 royal cannons. Clearing the way. And it really is the siege. You know, sort of, he's just never seemingly having enough meat on the pyre. And it leaves this kind of ripple over effect, you know, where the Lombos are hitting into the hand cannoneers and the cannons could also be doing it. Because at this point, when you're sending troops out and standing around here, the cannons are eating one by one these spears, these horsemen, etc. Hand cannon is going to make it even easier. They're just rallying into them here. I think Deniska probably would have had this game about 2 fights ago, maybe if he wasn't overkilling. It's tricky, it's a lot more APM, but if he just target fires down each of these hand cannoneers with 1 cannon, he kills them straight away. So if he could 5x his DPS into the hand cannoneer line. Speaking of said cannons. Yeah, Archer's going to stand their ground. Bombards are now going to start trading out. Deniska, wait, where are the troops? Yeah, okay, he held them in reserve. Formation betrayed him there. He selected them all together, so the Lombos slowed down the rest. But they are now here. It did cost him a pretty penny. 3 of the siege weapons going down. Sort of. What was it? 900 gold income? Now down to 680. Can't really afford to lose hand cannoneers again. Deniska has his own problems, though, gold-wise. He's down to 100 gold a minute. Oh, this hurts. If only there was a way to get gold-based units without paying in gold. I mean, like, Deniska's screwed, right, guys? He's in the late game as Byzantines. He's got no gold whatsoever. Wait a sec. He's got liquid gold. That's right. Streltsy now on the way. Okay, so this is how he views his win condition. Just keep throwing trash mobs at the enemy and scale cannons and smaller cannons. So, the most American thing you're going to see in a series between a Swede and a Kazakhstani, more guns wins. And I think he's even actually... Is he trading? Because that's the other thing. You can actually trade olive oil quite efficiently because your opponent can't do it as well to get more gold on a small burst. I think he's been doing food for the time being because sort of kind of not in a position to do the same. Which is crazy to think when he's got 3k food income, but nothing compared to 5k. And Deniska is now getting Exploratores. Okay, so the Horseman will be able to raid the farms. But hold on a sec, sort of. Wait, what happened to the numbers? Deniska looked in firm position here, but all of a sudden sort of just vomits out a full company of spears. Able to scare him away. We do have Horsemen now raiding into the tree lines. Exploratores did just complete. Deniska is desperate for pennies. He's even taking everything from sort of side of the map. Vrangian? So Vrangian is quite expensive too. The Vrangian, not exactly cheap. I don't think you really want to be leaning into this at 40 gold a pop. Horseman though. We talked about this like here. Switch to his view. Ah, 20 gold, baby. Yeah, it's just a little bit of alchemy. We turn food and wood into gold with a little bit of blood. I, for one, think Great Wall Gatehouse should friendly fire. Oh my god, could you imagine? Like, where's the hold fire button? Where's the hold fire button? Why would it stop shooting? That's the thing. It never does. And we've got some counter raids coming through. Niska never actually secured the flanks with stone walls. There's only wooden walls. Hadn't really thought much more about it, right? Because so far, sort of has just been stuck defending in the center. And what on earth is happening here? Well, they'll eventually die. Why do they have 506 HP? Why? The dream. When you just get to click things without even moving. Ah. The nightmare when you realize you're losing everything else. Sort of is on the push. And Deniska has no front line. Horsemen are trying to show up now, but they feel lackluster here. The Presidium is doing God's work. It's making it hard for the bombards to clear the way, so it buys enough time. The Horsemen are able to sally forth. Sort of is up to 27 hand cannoneers now. Still standing at ground underneath a castle is ambitious, I'll say that much of it. And the bombards still actually haven't cleared the objective. Deniska isn't repairing anymore. Oh, sorry, no, he's got some here. They're just well hidden. So it's just about keeping it live. Cannon upgrade is about to come in, but the cannons are too strong. They'll bring it down. So Deniska has lost one of the two castles. Streltsy count is small for him. The cannon count is not. Oh my god. 8 royal cannons now. Sort of like, this is a good game for Pony. Remember, bigger gun always wins. Absolute insanity in this game. I mean, who wins this? It feels like at this rate, sort of keeping the hand cannon account good. At this rate, wood actually might be the deciding outcome. Because a lot of horsemen, I don't know if you guys have noticed, but a lot of horsemen have died in this game. I got a feeling my video is going to get pulled down on YouTube by PETA. Oh, they don't care about the human rights abuses here. That's fine. Like, those guys, look at them. Oh, look, he's got a hammer in his hand. Take him out! Looks like a clean kill to me, boys. He was definitely going to use that hammer to kill us. So, but the horses... The amount of ponies that have died in this game, it's no wonder that we don't ride them anymore in modern combat. I don't think there's enough of them left. Is this a normal game time? I'd say normal game time average these days is maybe like... Average is around 30 minutes. You can get late games like this. They are rarer in the last year and a half than they used to be. I'd say this is, like, what do you think, chat? Like 10% of games now, maybe? Actually, we're in like 5% territory. There was a meta where it felt like every third game at least was going out. But there's a lot more dynamic play in early game now. This is wild, though. It also comes down to playstyle as well. Some players just, like, don't like playing this late. So they'll just go all in to try and end the game one way or the other. Well, dose of irony now as Deniska's own village is getting hit up by horsemen. I think this is over. This is looking pretty grim right now for Deniska. Sort of just has leverage due to gold. But that's truly the biggest issue here. Deniska's been trying to combat hand cannoneers with Streltsy, and you saw exactly why no one builds Streltsy anymore. They're incredibly expensive for what you get on Olival. And the other big issue is these hand cannoneers are in every way imaginable better. They are faster, they have better range. You can't really beat Chinese hand cannoneers with Streltsy. And what the hell are the cannons doing? Oh no, he went for the bombards. Yeah, it turns out small gun can beat big gun. And no, that's going to be all the siege. The horseman rotation. Clears up practically all of it. He's down to just 4 in total. 2 in the battle. Sort of does need to start microing, as his front line is now dead. And this is where Limitana do get interesting. Remember we said a little bit earlier, because the hand cannoneer damage being classified as ranged, a 25% damage reduction is quite substantial here compared to other standard spearmen. And Limitana on top of that also have more health than standard spearmen. But still, for that huge ambitious opening that Deniska dived onto, he killed like what, 5 or 6 of the hand cannoneers? There's already more on the way. And wait, why? No, not again. I would really love to pick some of these players' brains on why Fire Lancers, because I feel like every time I see them, they actually cost you more than they gain. What you have to realize about this game, guys, is that he's running out of gold fast. And he's now producing a unit that costs gold. Maybe it's an issue of wood. Like, there's really not much wood left on the map. So he might be trying to just kind of squeeze every piece out that he can. So something scary to keep in mind here, by the way, is right now the game looks pretty good for Sort of. If we go for another 10 or 15 minutes, I think it's Deniska's. He has something infinitely that Sort of can't. An ability to produce units. When every resource is gone from the map, Sort of won't be able to build the trash units anymore. Wood, right? While Deniska, well, for a start, Limitana is mostly food, which is infinite. They still use food, but wood, but less. And he's got a huge tree line. You can see that. The other thing is the premium units. Olive oil is also infinite. And that's what makes olive oil kind of polarizing the late game. A little bit crazy is that compared to all these other units, which require two resource types, you only require 1 resource type to get 3 different units available to you. Well, 6 actually, because of the siege. And that's kind of, I think, what makes Byzantines a little bit crazy the most in the hyper late game. Pulse around here. Horseman not doing a quick job of clearing it, but the mosh pit just keeps on coming. Deniska did lose all siege. I think for sort of maybe just some fort production would change things up here. He's producing from really far away. Even with Yuan, it's quite the run. Deniska, I wonder, can he sally forth once more with a defensive strategy here? He has got the Mangonel towers. That's going to make Sort of think twice about it, so he's going to wait for the bombard to arrive. Guys, it's 1 bombard now. Remember, wood is becoming more of a delicacy than gold at this stage. So much so, we can't even afford to build a lumber camp. Nope, it would just be too expensive. Deniska now switching into Nest of Bees. A little bit tricky, does make sense against hand cannoneers, but Yuan makes them hard to hit. Still, he needs some sort of backline firepower because right now it's just melee. And a lot of it. Looks like he's sneaking in on both flanks. And those are fire lances, so quick burners on the olive groves. That's going to shut him down perma. Deniska falling behind on economy. Nowhere near maximum military or eco at this stage. And please, no, the raw cannons. Where the hell are they going? I want to say Valhalla, but I don't think that's where artillery goes when they die. Back to Father's workshop? I don't know. Oh boy. One Nesta B is just trying to hold those tank cannons hostage. We do have now a castle drop coming from sort of to consolidate power in the center. I mean, this has to be it, right? Deniska's not out of wood. He's nowhere near out of wood. He's got plenty here. The problem is he's just getting raided all around. He keeps panic reacting to the front line because he has to because his hand cannon is. So you have to kind of double down on your defense here. That means you've got no one protecting the flanks. There's just small pocket groups of troops waiting to exploit that. And they're going to do it again. More farms getting shut down. And Deniska, the problem really isn't food now. It's wood. At this rate, it's going to be olive oil. He puts the last piece of gold into some cataphracts. I guess he wants the bombard gone. I think it doesn't matter. It's too late. Hankin is dive in. Nesta B's removed again. Insane game number one. He had a schedule to keep to, and they might already be breaking it. Because we still potentially have 4 more games ahead of us. And for anything like this, it's going to be the longest set of the week. Oh my god. At this point, I think Deniska's just going through the motions, but it's cool. GG comes out. An absurd late game back and forth that will end with the Swede on top.